If you're planning to rent an apartment anytime soon, you need to watch this video. In this video, I will be sharing some tips and tricks that might help you in the future when you rent your next apartment. Hi guys, my name is Tanya and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But if you have been following me for a while, thank you so much for coming with me on this YouTube journey. But now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So I shifted to Pune around 4 years ago, and within the span of 4 years, I have shifted 5 apartments. And it's not been easy, but I do like it and it is super fun. But there are mistakes that I have made and I want to share those mistakes with you so that you avoid them in the future. Now, first things first, when you do choose an apartment, make sure you choose an apartment in close proximity to the reason you're actually moving to a new city. So for example, if you're moving to a new city for work, make sure that you choose an apartment that is close to your workplace, because honestly, the last thing you want is to be stuck in traffic every single day, especially if you've had one of those really bad days at work. You don't want to be stuck in traffic. Now, if you are shifting for university or college, make sure you choose an apartment that is in walking distance to your university or college, because a lot of the time students really don't have that much money or funds to constantly take public transportation or constantly book cabs to and fro from their apartment to their college or university. So it's much better that you find an apartment that is in walking distance where you can walk to your college or university. And this will be really helpful, especially when you have long breaks in between your lectures, because if you don't want to stay at college and spend the time at college, you can just walk back to your apartment and walk back when you need to attend the class. Now, the second point that I want to make is that if you're shifting in an apartment with flatmates, make sure you meet your flatmates before actually shifting in. You have to check if your lifestyle compatibility is equivalent, because you are going to have arguments if it is not. And once you guys have arguments and once you guys start bickering over tiny things, then the whole environment of the house becomes very grim and very dull. And I have experienced this. It was really negative. The energy in the whole house was really negative because there was constant fighting, there was constant arguments, and that's why I recommend to meet your flatmates and check your lifestyle compatibility before actually shifting in. Now, the third point that I want to make is that if you see a flat that you really like, make sure you take photos and videos of that apartment so that when you go back home, you can just review the photos, review the video, and see if you really want to shift in there. Also, if there is a possibility that you might be choosing a particular apartment, make sure that you check that everything is working. Make sure you check the electricals, make sure you check the plumbing, and most of all, most importantly, make sure you check that the locks are working. I've lived in 2 apartments where the house was just always open. No one knew it except for the people living in the house, but that apartment was always open because the locks only weren't working. Like, there would be random friends who actually knew this little secret and would just walk in whenever they wanted to, and it was really bad. But yeah, just make sure that if this does happen, make sure you are living in a good society. But it's just better to make sure that everything is working before you actually shift in. And for example, if you're not happy with a particular thing and if things are not working in the house, make sure you speak to the owner, make sure you speak to the broker, and let them fix that before you actually move into their house. Now, when you go around apartment hunting, you will be seeing apartments in newly constructed societies and you will be seeing apartments in old constructed societies. So there are pros and cons for each of them. For example, if you are choosing an apartment in an old constructed society, you might have a lot of space in the house because it's going to be really spacious. The living room is going to be spacious, the bedroom is going to be spacious, but it's not going to be convenient. For example, the electrical sockets, if you know what I mean, they are just placed at random places. It's not convenient, and because of that, I have a lot of extensions just lying around my house and there are just odd wires everywhere. So make sure you check out for that. And secondly, also if you choose an old apartment, old constructed apartment, there might be no amenities. So look out for that. If that's something that you're willing to settle for, then that's really up to you. If you choose an apartment in a newly constructed society, the space is going to be much more restricted. It's going to be very small. The living rooms are going to be small. The bedroom space is going to be much smaller, but you are going to get the convenience of the electrical sockets. Plus, you are going to get the amenities, for example, piped gas. Currently, in the society that I live in is an old constructed society and they do not have piped gas. So I had to go in for the actual cylinder, which was a task. But yeah, that's really up to you. You have to choose whether you want that or you want an old constructed society. Now, another thing I want to bring up is the annual rental agreement. It is usually between 7 to 10%. So if you're living in an apartment for more than 11 months, there is going to be a hike in the rent, but that should be between 7% to 10%, and usually it is 7%. And these are the stats I'm talking about as of November 2022 in Pune itself. I'm not sure about the rest of the country. You have to Google it and check that out, or speak to the agent who's actually drawing up the lease. Another thing to make sure before you move into an apartment is the sunlight. Sunlight is the most important thing. Make sure that the windows are nice and big, and make sure that there's sunlight coming in. So in the previous apartment, I did have big windows, but unfortunately, those windows would face the other side of the other buildings, and I wouldn't get as much sunlight as I wanted. And trust me guys, sunlight plays an important role on keeping your house really positive. The energy is good, the vibes are good. You might not think about it now, but when you actually live in an apartment that has a lot of sunlight coming in, you will feel the difference, you will see the difference, and it's just going to brighten up your day and just make your day so much better. Now, the last point that I do want to touch up on is to always pay brokerage. If you are going through a broker, make sure you pay the brokerage, because it is like their commission. It is, for example, if you are working hard on something and that commission gets taken away, don't do that guys. It's really bad, it sucks. And a lot of Indians try to bypass the broker and go directly to the owner. Don't do that. It's really wrong. But another advantage of actually paying the broker is that you get everything done. So basically what happens is, for example, if there are things that are not working in your house, if there's some plumbing issue, if there are electrical issues, if there are other issues in the house, you can get that fixed before actually paying the brokerage. Do not pay the broker before anything is completed. Make sure everything that you want is completed, and only then you pay the brokerage. So what happens is, if the brokerage is paid before anything is completed, the broker won't be as motivated to get those jobs completed, and you're just going to be sad in the house, and you're going to have to fix everything yourself, and you're just going to be after him 24/7, and he really won't care about anything else. So make sure you get everything done before you actually pay the brokerage. And that's it for today's video guys. Thank you for watching. If this video was informative, do give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.